van de haan, amfuam amara, drum shakne
Today I am beyond privileged to share my very early access impressions of the Waylanders, thanks to the developers at Jackdaw Studio who gave me an early key. The Waylanders is a party-based RPG set in the Celtic and Medieval eras, very much inspired by the classics like Dragon Age Origins, Neverwinter Nights 2 and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now I have only played the first 10 hours of the game and I've already fallen for it. It's very apparent that the developers of the Waylanders love Dragon Age, and so to anyone who loves Dragon Age will love the Waylanders. I've played the prologue and the very early hours of the game, which are currently in very early access, meaning that there is plenty of work that still needs to be done and nothing in this game is final. Everything I'm going to be showing you is not concrete. However, I was still able to get an amazing feel for what the finished game will look like, and believe me when I say this is the Dragon Age Origins successor that we're all looking for. Upon starting the game, you're taken to a very recognizable character creation system, clearly inspired by Dragon Age Origins. You can choose between a male or female body, 4 races, 6 classes, and then an origin story based on each of those choices. The races in the Waylanders are rather distinct, as opposed to traditional D&D races like elves, humans and dwarves. Here we have the choice between humans, werewolves, Moirans and semi-Fomerians. The classes are rather straightforward. Each of them have unique weapons, abilities and features. As an example, rangers have the pets feature, which allows them to have animal companions, and sorcerers can teleport using their specific magic feature. You can customize your character with a few hairstyles, facial types, different skin tones, eye, hair and facial hair colors. You can then apply more points into your statistics based on your race and class, and the final aspect of customization is your identity, where you can choose your name, pronouns and your voice. The voice is just for grunting noises in combat. The game follows a silent protagonist, so you can make up your own voice, making your own character even more distinct. After making those final decisions, you're given a cute lore character summary backing up each choice you've made for your playable character, and now your adventure can begin. The story is told through a plentiful of cutscenes and long dialogue interactions, of course just what any Dragon Age fan loves. I found each of them engaging and I was hooked from the start really. I've played the prologue twice and a few blocked out side quests that are still in very much early alpha. The story starts with the Spanish Celtic tribes arriving at Ireland to meet and convey a union with their gods. However, things don't go according to plan, as you can imagine. What's fascinating about the Waylanders compared to Dragon Age, for example, is that the lore is steeped in Irish and Spanish folklore. We discover many legends like the Tuatha De Dan, which means the tribe of the gods in Old Gaelic, and I probably just butchered it. But it's exciting lore that actually exists in some of our real-world subcultures today. The setting of the game is based in medieval Galicia, which is in Spain. The developers are actually from Spain, so the stories they're telling throughout the Waylanders are tales each of them have grown up with. I won't say much more on the main story other than the protagonist has a mystery that reminds me of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Of course, another stellar RPG that takes many pinches from Dragon Age Origins. The plot seems to surround a lot of time travel themes, going forward and back in time, with many choices and consequences taking effect from your decisions. As a whole, the writing is excellent, and that's expected due to the fact that Chris Avallone, best known for writing Fallout New Vegas, took the helm alongside with him ex-Telltale's Emily Grace Buck, who's the fabulous narrative lead. Not to mention Mike Laidlaw aided the team with his creative vision to create a high-level narrative and to structure the game and the story. And if that's not enough, Dragon Age veteran Einon Zur composed the soundtrack of the Waylanders, which is just as beautiful as Dragon Age Origins in my opinion. Now I want to share more about the main characters. So far they are quite compelling, even in just the first hour. I found myself latching onto each and every one of them, with their many different personalities. In my opinion, the dialogue is the thing that holds this game up. I found myself engaging in every single conversation I could, interacting with every character. I would say my favourite character so far is Nazadija, Naz for short. She's very intriguing. Being a Moraine, she's a mortal, though she composes herself as a charming and relatable individual. Another thing to mention is that the voice cast is amazing and very familiar with the likes of Simon Templeman, best known for playing Loghain in Dragon Age. He takes the role of the Celtic druid Amerigan. Personally, as a Brit, I fell in love with hearing so many of my country's varying accents. And apparently there will absolutely be romance in the game, however it's not currently in the alpha build, but we can certainly look forward to that. The Waylanders gameplay centres on building up the narrative. There is an emphasis on interactive conversations. You'll spend a fair amount of time asking questions and getting to know each of the characters in this world, building bonds and shaping the story. The game has a very linear feel to it. However, once the prologue is done, you can explore many of the hub areas, very much like Dragon Age Origins. The world is lush to explore and the art style is fantastic. It has this cartoony feel to it. While exploring the stunning areas, you can switch the camera's placement for a more isometric feel, or stick to a more third-person feel, whatever suits your playstyle. This is an amazing quality of life feature that I think other games like this need to adopt. And in the same vein as Dragon Age, there is a huge codex which updates frequently after conversations. It's a really wonderful touch. I spent plenty of my time reading each of the characters and their backstories, just delving into the lore and what really shapes this game. Now, delving into the core gameplay being the combat, it is rough around the edges and it can be hard to properly aim and target your opponents. Too often I would cast a spell at an offensive enemy and I would accidentally click and switch to my warrior companion who is bashing the same enemy in the face. You can have up to 5 party companions at a time and there are grouped up attacks you can do as a squad called formations. You each band together and attack and it really works like a charm. It's a rather unique gameplay mechanic I've seen. The combat does feel identical to Dragon Age Origins, even down to the animations of fighting and how long it takes to fire a spell or shoot an arrow from a bow. During my stream, one of the developers actually gave me a few console commands and I was able to see what animal pets we could have, and I was very much surprised with the amount of animal companions you can have, at least in the alpha build. There's even a dragon companion. Like, who doesn't want a dragon as a pet? Speaking on the classes, each of them do prove to be very unique. In my 2 playthroughs, I played as a sorcerer and a rogue. I loved the individual features each class provide. Whether it's a passive or an actual ability, each class has a dynamic way to stand out. And of course, if you're undecided which class you want to play at the start of the game, Waylanders is a party-based RPG. You will always have a companion with a different class you can switch to and play as. So you will not be missing out when you lock yourself in a class at the start of the game. In summary, judging the very early hours of the Waylanders being in its alpha build, the game has very reminiscent systems and gameplay that anyone who's played Dragon Age will find themselves familiar with. However, the game has proven itself to be original enough with its engaging story, intriguing characters and unique lore. Of course, the game is in its very early access stages and there are plenty of bugs and things that need further improvement. I was playing this game without necessary cutscenes in, so I couldn't fully understand the story. But with that said, I can see the heart and passion that has gone behind this game and what will likely grow. And I can say that I really like the foundations of this game and what it intends to become. The developers have poured their heart and soul into it, and you can just tell by playing the first hour of the game. I'd say to anyone who's a huge fan of Dragon Age Origins, and I know every single one of my subscribers are, why not go and give the Waylanders a shot? The game launches on Steam's Early Access store on June 16th. Support this game as it grows throughout development and releases as an epic Dragon Age successor. Regarding my future plans for the Waylanders, I'm going to continually stream the game as improvements are made. The developers have already taken note of a few tweaks I would like to see, and I find that super humbling. But I do intend on covering this game when updates and huge changes have been amended. I'll continue to create updated impression videos and reviews in progress, because I believe this is a Dragon Age game to play while we're all waiting for the next Dragon Age game. But anyway guys, I do have the Waylanders store page linked in the description down below if you would like to go and check this game out. I do recommend this game, although as prefaced it is in its early alpha, so for those expecting a full game experience you will not be having that just yet. so I can understand your reservation. Of course, if you are approaching it with that angle, you can just stay tuned to my channel as I give you further impressions and further reviews of this game's finished builds. But until next one guys, I greatly appreciate you all watching a non-Dragon Age video, probably for the first time in a while on my channel. I really do appreciate those who have stayed to the end of this video. I hope you all are staying safe during this crazy time, and I will see you in the next one. But until then, I should go. Whoa.